6 months of civil unrest after a young woman's death in the custody of Iran's morality police. In September of last year, 22-year-old Mahsa Amini was arrested for what the Islamic Republic described as immodest attire. Tehran released a video claiming to show Amini collapse in custody and blamed the fall for triggering a fatal heart attack. Her family disputed that account in an interview with VOA. Almost immediately, nationwide anger became worldwide condemnation of Iran's harsh treatment of Amini and countless others like her. In response, Tehran began jailing journalists critical of the regime. Iranian journalist and media advocate Yeganeh Rezaian watched from Washington as the government turned up the heat.
In multiple cases, we at the Committee to Protect Journalists were in touch with lawyers who were representing these journalists and their families. And one morning we wake up and our source is gone because the lawyer himself was arrested and thrown in jail.
The Committee to Protect Journalists, or CPJ, documented nearly 100 media arrests from the end of September when protests began to early January. Of those, half were women.
Based on our annual research in 2022, at the end of the year, not only Iran became the biggest jailer of journalists in the world, but it was also the biggest jailer of women or female journalists.
Those arrested are accused of charges from vague anti-state activity to espionage, a crime punishable by death. But it's not just inside Iran's borders. As Rezaian says, Iran looks to silence its critics abroad, like VOA Persian host Masih Alinejad.
The Islamic Republic hired 3 criminals from Eastern Europe. They were clearly a part of a criminal syndicate. They were hired by the Islamic Republic to kill me on U.S. soil.
But that was just one attempt.
The Islamic Republic actually tried to kidnap me first. The FBI stopped the kidnapping plot and they charged 4 people. One of them, Nilufar Bahadouri, is right now in prison. She received 4 years prison sentence.
Alinejad says she isn't deterred by Iran's attempts to reach her in the U.S.
So I tell myself that I have 2 options: to feel miserable every single day or to make my oppressors feel miserable. Honestly, I choose the second one, and that made me so powerful. Because look, I'm only 45 kilos. You see that I'm not even carrying a weapon, but they're scared of me. They're scared of millions of Iranian women like me who say no to them.
Back in Washington, Rezaian says that although Iranians no longer fear the regime like they once did, the threats and following violence remain very real.
And I fear for them. But I'm glad that they are brave and they are not afraid of telling the truth. They are not afraid of covering their own country and its realities.
Iran's permanent mission to the UN did not respond to VOA's request for comment. But the Islamic Republic recently announced the pardoning of tens of thousands of Iranians arrested since protests began. Arash Arabasadi, VOA News.
مگر